Hello. Stream is starting real soon. Isn't right now. I ain't got time for none of that. I feel like my little songs. I don't. Whew. It's filled of view. Ugh. Hair's getting long. I'm gonna have to cut it again. So much hair. Emo boy. So. Freaking Oakland Farms eggnog. That's what I needed today. Just got back from filling up these tires. Oh.
Doesn't the guy at that last shelter have a special request?
What do you got for me? I want to do that. Fuck it. Okay. I need to get back to this, the knot. So
Order assigned.
I'm gonna need some other stuff. Private locker. Nothing. Oh, I've got nothing here, so.
Look, you can act.
Donate, claim. A melodrama. I don't need any of that. Online generator. We're gonna go here to here, here to here, and here to here.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
Let's go, baby! Oh, that's a battery depleted. Yeah, I like that. Grab her. Let's go. Seventeen, 16, 15, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, am I going the wrong way? Jesus Christ. All good.
Keep on keeping on.
This one's for you.
Beginning scan.
What?
Scanning bridges ID.
What, Goku?
Verifying ID.
Go lay down.
Weapons detected.
Go lay down.
All weapons will be locked until the
Go lay down, Melody.
cargo verified. Thank you.
Go lay down. Walk around 24/7. Circles and circles and circles. Deliver lost cargo.
see you. You've done more for us than we had any right to ask. Don't think we don't know that. Thanks.
Maybe I shouldn't have.
Good work. New order available.
I prized vegetation line.
Delivering cargo.
Hey, Sam. How's it going?
What are you looking at? You're not looking at anything.
Well, the cargo's in great condition.
Hey.
Thanks.
Good work. New order available. Please access delivery terminal for further information.
Thanks again for everything.
You alright? Okay. Mm-hmm. Nobody's watching right now, but people watch the YouTube, so. You gotta put in the time. But Donkey ate like 8 years or something like that to get as many followers as he does and make as much money as he does on YouTube. Yeah. Hmm? I think he's on, I don't know.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
No, that's Nikki Jakey. Oh, you're fine. There's also a Danish there if you want to eat some of that.
Anyone?
Okay.
Proceed to distribution center. Here we are, all clear. Welcome, Sam Waterburst.
Old books. Reports from the early days of Destiny.
Hey, Sam. Good to see you. Legend does
It's
it
fine.
again.
I mean, it's gonna record it. You can always
Everything
watch me
looks to
play.
be in perfect condition. Thank you,
Earth
Sam.
sounds good. Pretty sure I own the game on the 3DS. Something like that. I have a copy. It
Until the next delivery, then. Stay
was like
safe.
$4 or something like that.
Good work.
It's on sale. Flame materials, no. Recycle. Nickel. Mule boots. Recycle those. When they get too low, I don't want to worry about it ever.
Thank you for your continued support.
Yeah, see, I've got thousands. Private locker. Blood bag. Suit. I can carry 2 boots on the boot clip. Inner damage 31%. Put on footwear. Oh! Boots favored by mules. Their old-fashioned design isn't particularly hard wearing, and they tend to break fairly easily. That's okay, I got Bridges boots right there, in case, level 1. Our skeleton is a little damaged, but I've got another one. I always do that. Okay. Fabricate equipment. Make a PC. I'm gonna put that on my back as well. And back. If I have nothing here, I can move a lot of other stuff farther inland. So I can take stuff like another grenade just in case. Might as well take more, right? Because I'm just gonna put it in the thing when I get there. Okay. Perfect. The rest in the private room.
Good morning, Sam. Blood
Come
collection
on.
complete. Thank you for your generosity.
fuck? What the fuck? What was that? What was that? Static sensitive content. Yeah, that was fucking weird. Take a shower, get all that blood out of my hair. So much blood.
EX grenade number 0. EX grenade number 1.
Gotta use the bathroom again. Why is it rumbling? Why did my controller rumble?
EX grenade number 2.
Is that because I drink so much Monster? Is that why it comes out those colors? Examine table. Drink it up. Need that stamina for this long run I'm gonna do. Unleash the beast. Quit it. Yeah, you heard me. Okay. Salmon figures. So there'll be some down there too. That's that thing I fought that one time. The BTs. Wow. That's cool. Mules. I guess they're all just like the enemies, I guess? I don't know. Items acquired in private rooms. You can produce new items such as blood bags and EXE grenades while showering. Okay. Mail. How are your porter grades these days, Sam? I'm sure you're aware that trying to account for all 5 factors in a basic premise. But if you're anything like me, you just want to deliver as much stuff as you can. Am I right? If so, you could always just load yourself up with massive haul and aim for a bridge bonus. Aim for a bridges bonus for total cargo weight. Nothing working, nothing wrong with the simple approach. Of course, in the good old days, it was easier. Roads were much better back then. So all you had to do was chuck all your stuff in the back of a truck and go for a drive. Can't do that now, though. Even if you got a truck, they're usually more trouble than they're worth. Hell, sometimes you'll see them just sitting on the side of the road, locked and abandoned. Anyway, that's upset emoji. Anyway, on the bright side, since lugging big loads of cargo is so hard these days, folks are really grateful when a porter manages it, hence the bonuses. Here at the distro center, for example, we have to make sure we've got plenty of food and materials in stock, which means we have to make every delivery count. I dread to think what would happen if we ran out of supplies. Well, I've said my piece, and now you know how to make yourself popular around these parts. Stack your cargo high. I wonder where you are right now. If it's somewhere powered by our wind farm, if anyone should be benefiting from our work, it's you. So you brought us into the network. We could only provide power to a small region. Now we can send it to all the big cities and beyond. Still not 100% on the details, but basically transmitting it via... Can you turn your mic up just a smidge? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I can. Yeah? Is that better? Is that too loud? I don't know. We're still not 100% on the details, but basically transmitting it via the beach means we don't suffer any additional loss due to increased distances, so it can go as far as we need it to. Good thing we keep the faith in a second expedition and keep this place properly maintained. You made our efforts worthwhile. We can't thank you enough. Cool. I'll also move the mic, hopefully that'll... Hey Sam, sounds like you're still showing us all how it's done. Been making more and more deliveries myself, though. I'll have you know. Oxy really helps me to cope with the fear, so thanks for that. But don't go thinking I've got ice in my veins or anything. I still panic easy, and still drop plenty of cargo when I do. That I'm the only one, though. I found plenty of stuff that some other porters must have lost on the run. Tried to do the right thing, take what dropped cargo I can to the nearest post box, and leave weapons and gear in share lockers. I won't lie. Sometimes I feel like saying, fuck it, and letting it lie. But what goes around comes around, right? I help someone recover lost cargo, someone will do the same for me. That's how bridge links are formed, after all. Most of us will never be legends like you. No shame in that. But if we work together and make connections, well, we can at least make the world a better place. And that's where bridge links come in. Together, we can accomplish so much more than we ever could on our own. And that's the truth. Jesus. Okay. You taking care of your BB? How are you doing, Sam? And how's your BB? Me, I'm a bit worried. That's why I'm writing you, actually. You see, I used to have a BB of my own back in the day. I'd jack in whenever I went out on the run. Standard procedure and all that. Thing is, and this is just between you and me, I started to care about my BB. Yeah, I know. I went to all the briefings. It's just equipment. Don't empathize. Don't get attached. Yeah, well, easier said than done. Especially when it gave me a like. A thumbs up. That's what thumbs up are called, likes. So that's crazy. A piece of equipment can't do that, right? Equipment doesn't like being rocked either, or get soothed by the sight of spinning Odra deck. Check out your tips if you're not sure how to do stuff like that. My BB loved it when I took us swimming, when we just flowed on the water. But I got real scared if we dove in or went under. Like a tool would give a shit about any of that. I bet your BB's the same, right? Reacts to things in ways that can't be explained. Man, I miss those days with the little guy. You'll take good care of your BB, won't you, Sam? What am I saying? I know you will. Ever since you told me about my brother, I haven't been able to stop thinking about him. Oh, this is the guy where his brother died. I want to make one thing clear, though. I don't blame you for what happened. Igor wouldn't either. I know that. It's weird, though. We weren't all that close. And back when he was alive, I'd go weeks without thinking about him. But now, well, ain't that the way these things always go? You still got that little keepsake of his? Sounds kind of stupid, but I've started thinking of it as like his alter ego or something. You know, it was his dream to go west with the second expedition, right? He never made it. But if his favorite toy does, it almost feels like it would make up for it. At least a little. You show the little guy the sights now, you hear? Lord knows I'll never get to see them. Oh, it's sad. Dear Sam, how's it going? Still heading west? We're rooting for you. We were part of the second group, so we never got to speak with Amelie face to face. Caught the occasional holo message, but that was about it. Still, every little bit helped to keep us going. She's just like her mother, tough, clever, easy on the eye. Won't lie and say I didn't notice. But what really resonated with us was that fire she carries, that conviction. Same as Bridget. Any one of us would have laid down our lives in service of her vision. I suppose this is all a long-winded way to say you ought to move on and meet her like we never got to. And when you do, tell her we're all still believers in the cause, and in her, and her mother. You'll do that, won't you? Don't keep the others waiting. Hey, Sam. Can't tell you how good it is to see you coming over the water on that boat. First time we've welcomed so much as a turd in, what must have been 2 years now. Some folks were even saying everything east of Ground Zero must have been wiped out completely. The occasional message drifted in from HQ, but people? Not a one. We'd half given up on the Cupid ever being finished. On the second expedition, the whole shebang. And then you show up, with a working Cupid to boot. Our knight in shining armor. Sorry, don't mean to sound like I'm not grateful. I am, more than you know. Every single person here was waiting for someone like you to come along. And there'll be more waiting west. A lot more. You'd best go find them. 3 likes. Or 4 likes. Oh, I said 3. We made rounds of the local preppers when I first arrived here with Bridges. There should be some interviews floating around that the records team transcribed. Take a look if you get the chance. We were mainly sounding out the situation on the ground, and trying to convince them to join the UCA, of course. But we already suspected they weren't the type to follow the herd. Why else would they be out here? Still, we found the odd, community-minded soul among them. Not all were holed up in shelters by choice. Some were running from something. Others had just been born into the life. Getting the few we did to throw their lot in with the UCA was a pain in the ass, though. Didn't help that the chiral network wasn't up and running back then. All we could do was put the parts in place and promise they were going to work someday. And now, they finally do. Thanks to you. Could be the skeptics might finally come around now that we can show as well as tell. You keep up the good work, you hear? Get us all back on the grid. Why join the UCA? You still out there fighting the good fight, kiddo? I tip my hat to you for that. This is the elder. And for bringing an old curmudgeon his medicine. I'm doing a whole lot better for it. Much obliged. So in exchange for signing a contract with Bridges, I get meds and supplies delivered to my doorstep. It's not so different from the deal I had with Fragile Express. And while I may not have full use of this here network of yours, I can access the weather data and news I need to make life easier than before. All that without me having to join the UCA. So, what incentive is there to do so? The engineer. I know it can't be easy out there for you on your own, but we need you to stay strong. I've started on a few experiments with the Devo unit that you brought me. So far, things are going pretty well. I'm not quite at the stage where I can perfectly recreate objects, but I suspect that's only because the chiral network's coverage is still limited. The more places you bring online, the better my results. Most likely. Anyway, I'll be submitting regular reports on my processes to Bridges. Rest assured, I'll keep at it. Incidentally, I've taken an interest in the Edward deck lately. These days, people tend to associate them with the BBs or think of them as BT detectors. But they were originally designed as more all-purpose scanners for the detection of people and various objects. Seems they've undergone quite a few changes over the years. By all accounts, many of the original features were cut at some point. One such feature would allow users to project holograms, which could be pretty useful, and another would utilize chiral connections to reconstruct past data for present-day applications. I don't believe these features are lost forever, though. If we keep expanding the network, someone's bound to take the initiative and create new and improved versions of them. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time, Sam. We should catch up in person one day. The Devo unit. Seems a rather significant breakthrough has been achieved back at headquarters. They successfully integrated an Devo unit into a chiral printer. In case you're not familiar with the term, Devo refers to evolutionary development biology. Your genes, mouse genes, dinosaur genes, the genes of every living being are virtually identical, and yet we develop into such radically different organisms. Thus, a question arises. Why did such disparate life arise from the self-same building blocks? Devo was the field of study that sought to solve the mystery, to lay bare the secrets of evolution. Before the advent of Devo, it was thought that in order to reconstruct a dinosaur, we would require a sample of its DNA. However, thanks to this technology's ability to extrapolate from existing data, we could, with the correct stimulus, grow a dinosaur from the DNA of any living organism. We could, in essence, recreate the process by which dinosaurs evolved from primeval life forms. An Devo unit applies these same principles to the problem of information and object reconstruction. With the help of the chiral network, we can take incomplete data, and indeed incomplete objects, and reproduce their complete forms. This data can be fed into the chiral printer, and voila! Partial data yields finished product. The tech isn't viable for everyday use just yet, but when it is, it will be of incalculable benefit to our research and bring our reconstruction efforts forward by a matter of decades. So that could just change everything. The Discovery of Beaches and the Concept of Death by Hartman 3 years ago, Bridges HQ Lab. With the discovery of the beach, the fundamental truth of death was unpended. I doubt you will find many who would deny this. Alas, we can say little with confidence in any objective or scientific capacity, but our understanding of this new realm remains in its infancy and is ever evolving, much like our understanding of the universe as a whole. Perhaps the closest thing we have to a working explanation of the beach relates to the conception of a multiverse. But I digress. Why? Explain more about that. The beach is arguably both a concept and a reality. A discrete beach is influenced by the mind of the associated individual, and therefore linked to them irrevocably. This is why we have so energetically pursued the psychoanalytical, and neuroscientific angles when attempting to create a unified theory of the Death Stranding, the beach, and related phenomena. There was a fad a while back in which subjects underwent counseling in order to learn more about their beaches, and in doing so, gain a greater understanding of the nature of death. Doom's sufferers, in particular, provided excellent opportunities for study. An interesting theoretical question arose during that period. If a person's beach was a product of their consciousness, might animals have beaches as well? A conundrum on the surface, perhaps, but one quickly resolved. Only human corpses undergo necrosis and become BTs, which proves somewhat conclusively that only a human can possess a beach. And yet, this begs another question. If all this is required is consciousness akin to that of a human, could an AI have a beach? An android? For one, I for one do not believe so. Why? because the function of our beaches is to connect the worlds of the living and the dead. If an entity was never born, has not truly lived, and will never know death, surely it cannot have a beach. Timefall. Okay, Hartman, 3 years ago, Bridges HQ Lab, Timefall. Timefall was first recorded when the Death Stranding occurred, and despite all the years that have passed since then, we are no closer to understanding how or why it accelerated the passage of time for the objects and organisms it touches, or why it immediately turns to ordinary water having done so. Some researchers have gone as far as to posit this process as stealing time. As for why timefall is observed only in certain places, all we know for certain is that it is somehow affected by local chiral concentrations. This is merely a hunch, but something in me suspects that the Death Stranding may have warped our perception of the passage of time. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, you understand. We humans can conceive of our own deaths, and even of the possibility of a place beyond death, yes? We have the capacity to conceptualize the future, an evolutionary advantage which aided our development as a species. Well, what if Timefall has given us a new, supercharged version of this essential ability, one that will take us to the next stage of our evolution? Perhaps we wouldn't need to hole ourselves up in knot cities. Perhaps in time, the Death Stranding will come to be seen as a phenomenon that saved our species. Exciting thoughts, I'm sure you'll agree. I, for one, can't wait to set out on our journey. Who knows what awaits us? The lake at ground zero. 5 years ago. Humanity's biggest problem. Logistics. Die Hardman, 5 years ago. War and famine have been inescapable parts of human life since the rise of our species. And while the fall of America hasn't changed this fundamental truth, it's fair to say that these issues aren't... That's all fascinating. Are you being serious? Because I'm enjoying reading it, but... Can you remember the last time you heard of a prepper dying of starvation, much less someone in a knot city? No one's fighting over water or oil or anything else, which isn't to say that people don't occasionally run out of supplies, but it's almost never because of a real shortage. It's usually a problem with logistics. In fact, it was to address such problems that the president created bridges and developed the chiral network. So yeah, no one's that desperate. Anybody's got enough for themselves, which is what led to the real problem. It's all too easy for people to become isolated from one another. Tony thinks it's boring, but I love it. I'm sorry, Tony. People are free to live for themselves for the moment, without a care for the future. The president understood this better than anyone, and I know just how much it pained her. The chiral network experiences between Central and Capital City. 1 year and some months ago, Die Hardman in the capital knot city. Madam President, this will be your new office from today. The relocation of your official residence has been completed, and the entire medical team has been brought along as well. Rest assured that information regarding this move has been shared on a need-to-know basis only. I understand that, following the loss of New York, you wish to direct the reconstruction efforts from Central Knot City, but in light of recent separatist activity in the eastern seaboard, we no longer consider it safe. We will see to it that people continue to believe in you, believe you are in Central, and Bridges HQ will operate as normal. As per your orders, the network research teams and delivery systems management have all been covertly transferred here to Capital Knot City. We are doing our utmost to expedite testing of the chiral network link between Central and Capital, while not neglecting your immediate medical needs, of course. This will be our base of operations for the next step in rebuilding America. Next one talks about Cupids. Necrosis and the ancient Egyptian view of life and death. Jesus. The Egyptians believed that we humans were composed of two elements, the Ha and the Ka, the body and the soul. Various texts expound upon their nature in detail, but perhaps it is simplest to conceive of them as follows. The soul is that which joins with the child in the womb, and gives life to the body. It is also that which departs the body upon death. Ergo, the body is simply a vessel. Should the soul return to it, it will live again. This is precisely what is observed in near-death experiences, a soul separated, albeit briefly, from its body. The Egyptians believed death not to be instantaneous change of state, but a process by which the soul moves from one realm to another. But this process itself has changed, thanks to the Death Stranding. In the normal order of things, when death occurs, the soul vacates the body and passes into the scene. From there, it transitions to the beach. And only then, onto the world of the dead. So, the beach isn't death, so there's like actually the world of the dead after that. So there's the world, the beach, and then the other side. But after the stranding, a soul that has already made its journey to the beach may attempt to return to its body in this world. It was hard to believe at first, but the process of necrosis provided proof of this phenomenon that was difficult to deny. This is why it is imperative that we burn the bodies of the dead. The body must be destroyed to sever the link to the soul. Only then will the soul be free to journey to the other world beyond. The word chiral comes from the Greek care, meaning hand. So chiral is hand. That's why they come out and look like a hand. Compare your left with your right. They seem similar in both size and shape, yes? Now face your palms away from you and place one hand over the other. Their shapes do not overlap exactly, but place your palms together and voila, a match. It is as if one hand is the mirror image of the other. But again, if you were to actually compare the mirror image of your hand to itself, we would see that the two are not identical. This is the essence of chirality. The state in which the mirror image of a shape does not match the original. It has been theorized that BTs are mirror images of ourselves. Were we to exist in the same point in time and space, our shapes, as it were, would not overlap neatly onto one another, save in reflection. And when our particles meet their opposites, a void-out occurs. The new form of communication we have devised utilitizes beaches, which are akin to mirrors, reflecting this world and the other, hence the term chiral network. Chiralium. Hartman. You would like to know more about chiralium. Well, wouldn't we all? I am happy to present the latest theories, but you must be aware that this is all that they are, theories. Chiralium, like dark matter, was born along with our universe, and has existed ever since, just not in the dimension we were able to perceive, until now. It is the beach that gives us access to that dimension, and with it, knowledge of chiralium's existence. Not just knowledge of it, of course. We have since observed it coalescing into crystalline form, and recording measurable physical and mental effects on individuals exposed to it. It has reshaped our understanding of reality and proven instrumental in the formulation of the multiverse theory of beaches. Chiral matter is not affected by the passage of time. As far as particles are concerned, none has elapsed since the Big Bang. Like little wonder they escaped for notice for so long, until man and BT first came together in Void Out, and left nothing but chiralium in their wake. Many of these claims are yet to be verified, but I believe that this is a fair summary of the scientific community's current consensus on the matter. No pun intended. I don't get it. Chiralium's current consensus. Community's current consensus on chiralium. I think that was not really a pun, but maybe I'm wrong. I shall soon be heading west with the first expedition, and I look forward to learning more about chiralium and its connections to the beach along the way. More about Egyptians. Egyptian mummies, pyramids, etc. At what point can it be said that man truly understood what it meant to die? It would seem reasonable to suggest that it was when he began to bury his dead, a practice which originated with the Neanderthals. Hartman was in Bridges 1? Well, where'd you get that? Did I miss that somewhere? I don't think he was in Bridges 1. He probably said he went on the first expedition. Where? Where did I say that? In the Chiralium? I mean, if he went on the first expedition, he should be in the West. I just finished Chiralium. You're talking about Necrosis of the Ancient, View of Life and Death? And I look forward to learning more about Chiralium. I shall soon be heading west with the first expedition, and I look forward to learning more about the Chiralium and its connections to Beach along the way. It says he looks forward to it. I don't know if he went. I don't think he did go. Because if he would have gone, he would be there. He's not... Or maybe he is there. Maybe that's why we haven't seen him in person. Or have we? We saw him in person. Maybe not. Maybe he's over in the West. Egyptian mummies, pyramids, etc. At what point can it be said that man... Oh, I already did that. In a way, one might say that our growing understanding of death drove our development as a species. Our fear of it, our attempts to conquer it. Why, it could be argued, our entire history revolves around these obsessions. Take the Great Pyramids of Egypt, or the tombs of the ancient emperors of China. The more powerful the person, the bigger and grander their final resting place. Or, to posit a more radical theory, could the very concepts of power and society themselves have emerged solely to facilitate the creation of such monuments, such challenges to the finality of death? Either way, and leaving behind something they hoped might endure through the ages, the builders of these edifices believed that they too might live on forever. The mummies of the Egyptians are another means by which man sought to fulfill the desire to escape the finality of death. They were created that the spiritual self, the Ka, would have a physical vessel, or Ha, to which it could return. The Soku Shinbutsu, or mummified monks of Buddhism, are similar in this respect. However, the monks in question aimed to transition straight from life to Buddhahood. In other words, to forego death altogether. But now that the beach has brought us into direct contact with the world beyond, our relationship with death must further evolve. The next stage in our understanding is upon us. BTs are reaching out to us. 2.4 million years ago, Homo habilis started to craft stone tools. Hands are so very important, don't you think? Our other sensory organs passively interpret data. Our eyes, light. Our ears, sound. Our noses, smell. Our mouths, taste. But hands? Hands are different. To touch requires conscious action. To grasp, more so. To connect that which is in our left hand with that which is in our right, still more. And the handprints we see when BTs seek out humans, why, I'd say that's just evidence of our otherworldly friends yearning to forge a connection. They're reaching out to us, attempting to bridge the gap between realm of the dead and that of the living. What if the BTs aren't bad at all? What if they're not like... They're just the dead trying to reach back and trying to come alive? They're trying to connect because they're separated from everything. It's really creepy. Alright, I think that's all I'm going to read for now. Just tips.
Submit one if you're in need of anything in particular.
A bridge link is another way of describing the connection between you and another porter. If you want to forge a powerful bond, Consider a strand contract.
Likes received from William Lake. Likes received from William Lake. Check on WB. Connected. What are you doing upside down?
Oh.
Change color scheme. Weapons locker.
Have a pleasant journey.
Sam the Craftsman. Cargo shared with other players. 6 likes received.
Keeping on.
How is that just sitting there? I'm just gonna take this right back.
Keep on keeping on clear.
That Bob Ross?
Sam Porter Bridges.
Take this shit right back. Here, you can have this. I'm gonna share this. Boom. Share it. Give it. Have it all. Cargo shared with other players. 4 likes. Have it all.
Have a pleasant journey. Keep on keeping on. Have a pleasant journey.
Open! Open up! Let me in! Ah!
It's a close one.
I can't pee. Too close to a structure?
Construction complete.
We brought a ladder. That's where I'm gonna need to go. I'm heading to the craftsman now. I have a lot of grenades on me too, so if I get in a battle with PTs, which is probably gonna happen when I get in that crater. Oh no. The Craftsman, that's what he's called. Yeah, that's the other guy. That's the guy who makes guns and stuff. Run!
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Fragile Express ID verified. Weapons detected.
Entering power
All
grid.
weapons will be locked until departure. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges. Private locker. Resins. Private locker. Place in private locker. Place in private locker. Get on orders.
Not far from Middle Knot City, you'll find the ruins of an old shopping mall. They predate the Death Stranding. The craftsmen used to live there. Until terrorists organized a void out or two and BTs started showing up. Needless to say, the craftsman had to move house in a hurry. Grabbed what little he could and left most everything else behind. Which is where you come in. He wants you to go and get his old toolkit and bring it back to the shelter. His old home's locked up tight, but he'll open it remotely for you when you set out. Place is crawling with BTs, though. No one in their right mind would even try to pull this off. But if you can, then the old man might finally realize Bridges is only trying to help.
The toolkit you're looking for ought to be in my old shelter. It's been tagged, so shouldn't have any trouble finding the place.
Great, yeah.
I'll unlock it remotely once you get there. Oh, and take some of those hematic grenades you brought with you. Nothing you'll want more when those BTs put your back against the wall, right? Here's hoping it won't come to that.
So I just order boots. It's friggin' cool. Sounds like a regular vacay. Yeah, we'll see.
Order assigned.
Oh shit. It's about to get creepy up in here, yeah.
Weapons response lifted.
No from William Lake. Gotta go the extra mile. I'm gonna go ahead and check that. Ceramics. Charge the battery. I should have put a generator over there. That's what I'm gonna have to do. I'd say you're going the extra mile. Yeah, I think I am. I think I definitely am going the extra mile. My goodness, really? Go! Shit. This has got to be a boss fight, right? Something's happening here. Fuck, dude, look at all that. I don't need all that. dogs were barking. Go lay down. No idea what that was. I thought I had the grenade equipped. Get up. I don't got time.
There we go.
Scanning Bridges ID. Fragile Express ID verified. Weapons detected. All weapons will be locked until departure. Cargo verified. Thank you.
Yeah, he really didn't move that far. I guess the void out wasn't that big. Like, oh, I'm gonna move like right up the road.
Delivering cargo.
What? You kidding me? You actually went into that hell?
Yeah, I fucking did.
You don't
Yeah, it was a hellhole. I don't want to go back.
embracing these old tools. The kind of stuff you can't replace with a chiral printer. Thought I was giving you an impossible mission. Oh, yes. Now we're talking. Wait till you see the weapons I make with
Yeah, make me some weapons.
Sam Bridges. You are incredible.
Make me the weapons. Likes from recipient 213. 7% damage. Not bad. I'll get up.
Now, to be fair, Fragile and her crew never did me wrong.
I might have to go back. Yeah, you're probably right. But like, since you went there, I'm gonna need you to have to go back over there and pick something else up for me.
It's as if all the motherfucking terrorists are coming together like one big happy family.
If I didn't have those hemostatic grenades, though, I would have been dead.
Trust to do the same.
Dead. I'm so glad I brought
There's hope for
those.
us after all.
Like, so glad.
There's more folks like you in the UCA.
I brought so many of them.
Safety in numbers, huh? And the new America to boot. Connect me to the chiral network.
Yes. Yes. Changes his mind. That's right, baby. Looked his hands all over it. Cool. Crying. He's crying. Truth. That was awesome. Oh, cool. There's like little squares and stuff. Bola gun. That's it. There it is. Cries every time. Yeah. He's crying. Yeah, I know he cries every time. I was just
Right. Now
Right.
you're looking out for me. It's only fair that I look out for you. So, oh, check out this beauty I made. It's called a Bola gun. Should keep anyone from giving you trouble for a minute. It's non-lethal, of course. I can't promise it won't leave marks, but that's on them. If you think you could use it, hey, take it.
yeah. Dude.
A bola gun, huh? That could come in handy. As is, you can use it to restrain human targets without killing them. But swap out those wires with strands spun from your blood, and it might even work on BTs.
Might even work on BTs.
Go ahead. Give it a whirl.
Patched to the network, so now I can drop off that lost cargo.
Well, you've done your bit. Time for me to do mine.
Good work. New order. Delivering cargo.
That's not that much. But I need to start.
Order assigned.
Excellent work, Sam. You've brought 3 way stations into the fold.
Yeah.
The preppers are on the grid, and the chiral network is looking better than ever. We're planning to use a regional distro center as our next way station. But that'll have to wait. Got a priority task here. A mess in need of cleaning up. We need you to recover one of Lake Knot City's system servers. They sent it out for repairs, and mules hit the transport on the way back. The server contains validation data for a new delivery system we're deploying. Once in place, it will use the chiral network to automate deliveries. To us, it's invaluable. To the mules, it may as well be a toaster. A toaster they'll happily tear apart for the chiral crystals and rare earth metals inside. If we don't act quickly, we could lose that data. So get your ass to the mule's drop site, snatch the server, and bring it back to Lake Knot City. I'm putting the order in myself. Check your cufflinks for details.
Fucking
Weapons restrictions lifted.
yeah, it's there wasn't a thing over here to charge it. Why I might be coming over here. because there's a charger over there, but I just kind of gotta get.
Hey, kid.
Oh shit. Yes. I just didn't have any materials on me. Come on, baby. Let's do this. Leave that thing behind. Dude, come on. Are you serious? Fucking hit me with that shit? Are you serious? Quit throwing shit at me. Get up, get up, get up. Ugh. Yeah, you can steal their trucks. Yes, you can steal the trucks. I think I'm just gonna end it there. Maybe it'll just go back to the autosave. I don't know. Because I don't want to lose all that. Anyway, that's where I'm gonna end the stream anyways, because it's 12:15. I gotta go to sleep. Have a good night, Tabby. Thanks for watching.